I've always found that one of the most interesting months of the year for releases is October. Being a horror fan, I like to see what the boutiques are going to lean into. It's always interesting. And this time from Eureka Entertainment, we have 4 announcements. One that was done last week, but I was waiting for the rest of them to talk about. And they are interesting. There is one here, a movie that I absolutely adore, one that's a head scratcher, one that's a maybe, and one movie that I've been wanting to revisit, but I dread revisiting at the exact same time. Let's have a look at these titles. So first up, we have the Diabolical Dr Z from Jess Franco, a director who can sometimes be fun and sometimes just not be fun, can be rather tedious. He made a load of movies, and let's have a look at this. So, part of the Eureka Classics range, it's $17.99 and it's out the 20th of October. A Spanish-French co-production directed by Jesús Franco, from a screenplay by Jean-Claude Carrière, also known in its original Spanish title as Miss Muerte, was released at the height of the Gothic horror boom that swept Europe during the 60s and followed Franco's earlier Gothic chillers, the awful Dr. Orloff, the sadistic Baron von Klaus, and Dr. Orloff's Monster. Before the untimely death, mad scientist Dr. Zimmer created a device that would allow him to control human minds. In the aftermath of his passing, his daughter Irma Zimmer takes it upon herself to continue his work and seek revenge on his behalf to punish those who discredit and disgrace the late Dr. Zimmer. She uses his invention to possess nightclub performer Miss Muerte, who lures her victims to the death at the hands of her razor-sharp poisoned nails. An early film by the titan of cult cinema, who would continue making films until his death in 2013, the Diabolical Dr. Z is both an atmospheric and accomplished contribution to European Gothic horror cycle of the 60s, and a forerunner to the more outrageous exploitation films that would later catapult Franco to infamy. Limited edition of 2,000 copies. We have a limited edition O-card slipcase. We have a booklet featuring new writing. It's a 1080p print presentation from a 2K restoration. English subtitles newly revised for this release. Audio commentary by genre film expert and video watchdog founder Tim Lucas. Death on the Continent, a new discussion of European Gothic horror in the 60s. Awful, diabolical, sadistic new video essay by film historian Sam Deegan on mad science in Gothic horror. From Mary Shelley to Jesús Franco. Those two people are really far apart on the creative spectrum. An archival interview with the screenwriter, an archival interview with film historian Lucas Balbo, archival interview with journalist and author of Jesús Franco's Energy du Fantasme, and original theatrical trailer. I mean, I will check it out. It's a Jesús Franco film. I do want to see more of his stuff because the good stuff is good. I hope this is one of the good ones. Next up, we have The Island. Now, the cover art definitely stands out. But what stands out more is the fact that this cover art does not match with the Masters of Cinema series. I am incredibly curious about this one, from 1984, directed by Po Chi Long. It's number 324 in the Masters of Cinema series. Perhaps the most accomplished genre picture directed by British-Chinese filmmaker Po Chi Long, The Island is Hong Kong's answer to the likes of Deliverance, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and The Hills Have Eyes. A film that transports the visceral survival horror so popular in the 70s and 80s from the backwoods of America to a remote island in East Asia. At the height of summer, teacher Mr. Chong takes a small group of his students on an excursion to explore a rural island. Yet he assumes is uninhabited, but upon arrival, Chong and his class discover that they are not alone. The island is, in fact, home to 3 deranged brothers and their equally deranged mother. And when one of Chung's students refuses a marriage proposal from the youngest and perhaps most disturbed member of this deeply strange family, both the teacher and the young people in his care soon come to wish that they had stayed home. Following in the footsteps of his Western predecessors, the island plays out a pointed class conflict as it pits its educated urbanites against the violent members of an isolated rural community, but never loses the unique qualities of a Hong Kong horror movie. The Masters of Cinema series is proud to present the film on Blu-ray for the first time anywhere outside of Asia. 2000 limited edition copies. We have a O-card slipcase, a collector's booklet featuring new writing on the film. We have a 1080p HD presentation from a new 2K restoration, original Cantonese mono, English subtitles, newly translated for this release. We have a new commentary by Frank Jem, a second commentary with Mike Leader and Arn Venema. I love these guys because they work a lot with Eureka, and I love that there's normally 2 commentaries on some certain releases, and I like the vying opinions. We have a Surviving the Shoot interview with director Po Chi Long from 2023, and a trailer. I am super curious. I really am. Does this belong in the Masters of Cinema series? Why does it belong there? This doesn't scream the kind of horror that's made it in there before. I am really kind of curious. If you've seen this one, tell me more. Next up, we have the wonderful Ambulance, directed by Larry Cohen, starring Eric Roberts and James Earl Jones. This is a really great film. It's one that I saw a lot. I say great. I got a lot of pleasure out of this one. It's released on the 13th of October, $17.99. A maverick of independent cinema, Larry Cohen made a habit of transforming the savingly benevolent into the malevolent. Infants in It's Alive, Ice Cream in The Stuff, police officers in Maniac Cop, and the personification of the United States in Uncle Sam. And the ambulance is the very thing that should save our lives, that might transport us to our very deaths. When comic book artist Josh meets Cheryl in New York City, he believes he might have run into the woman of his dreams. But just as they're getting to know each other, Cheryl begins to feel ill. She's picked up by an ambulance and then disappears into thin air. Unable to track her in any of the city hospitals, Josh learns that Cheryl is not the only missing person connected to the mysterious ambulance, and takes it upon himself to investigate an apparent conspiracy to kidnap people from the streets of New York. But Josh's interference isn't welcomed, either by Lieutenant Frank Spencer of the NYPD or the sinister forces behind the ambulance itself. One of Larry Cohen's most underrated and underseen films, featuring an unlikely cameo by Stan Lee, The Ambulance deserves to reach the same cult status as his earlier horror movies. It's Alive, God Told Me To, Q, The Winged Serpent, and The Stuff. I mean, I love Larry Cohen. I love his movies. I hope they all get this kind of wonderful treatment. We get 2,000 copies here. We've got a limited edition O-card slipcase. We have a limited edition booklet. We have a 1080p presentation from an HD restoration, uncompressed LPCM audio, optional English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing, new audio commentary by Steve Mitchell, director of the 2017 documentary King Cohen, audio commentary by director Larry Cohen, moderated by Steve Mitchell, Catch Your Death, a newly edited, previously unseen interview with Larry Cohen on The Ambulance, originally shot for King Cohen, Sickness and Health, a new video essay on The Ambulance by medical horror by film scholar Murray Leader, Keep Making Pictures, new interview with film writer Michael Doyle, author of Larry Cohen, The Stuff of Gods and Monsters, and the original theatrical trailer. This is one of those titles that I reviewed a while back just because I loved the film. So there is a review on the channel already, and I will do a full review of this disc when it comes out. Finally, one that got its own announcement last week, but I've kind of held off, is this. Number 325 in the Masters of Cinema series is Martyrs. This has been a long awaited or a long wanted title for a lot of people. It's a movie that I have seen before. It is tough. Due to overwhelming demand, we will be producing an additional 2,000 copies beyond the originally intended run. Fantastic. Now, I think this is fantastic because I hate to see a title sell out well before release date and be hoarded by the scalpers looking to make a quick profit. I want these editions in the fans' hands. I know it's limited edition, but I don't care. I want as many people to get a copy of it as they possibly can. I think this is fantastic that it's done great business for them. It's $39.99. It's a pricey edition. It's the 4K and the Blu-ray, which we know I'm a big fan of. It's out on the 27th of October. And it's one of those ones where I can't really say that I'm looking forward to talking about this one, but I will be talking about it. A rare film with a reputation that speaks for itself, Martyrs is perhaps the defining film of the new French extremity movement, and director Pascal Laugier's masterpiece, horrifying and thought-provoking in equal measure. It's a deeply philosophical and challenging work of extreme cinema, and undoubtedly one of the finest horror films produced in the 21st century. In 1971, a young Lucy Urin manages to escape from a slaughterhouse in which she has been subjected to unspeakable torture. Placed in an orphanage, she forms a strong bond with Anna, who tries to help her recover from her trauma. 15 years later, and now in adulthood, Lucy breaks into the isolated home of the Belfort family, believing that they were involved in the horrific abuse she suffered in childhood. When she receives a call from Lucy, Anna rushes to her aid, but soon comes to regret ever having set foot in the Belfort house, where she will experience things beyond human comprehension. Featuring heartbreaking performances by its two female leads and a truly shocking imagery that lingers long in the mind courtesy of special effects designer Benoit Lestang, Martyrs is risen above debates surrounding torture porn to emerge as one of the truly great works of extreme cinema. The Masters of Cinema series is proud to present the film on 4K UHD for the first time anywhere in the world, from a stunning brand new 4K restoration, accompanied by a wealth of new and archival extras. Originally set at 4,000 copies, this has sold incredibly quickly, so much so that they've added an extra 2,000 onto that. It's a dual format, including both the UHD, which is region free, and the Blu-ray, which is region B. We have a limited edition hard case featuring new artwork, a 100-page booklet, a limited edition fold-out poster, a new 4K restoration by Eureka from the original camera negative. We have a UHD Blu-ray presented in Dolby Vision HDR. We get the French audio, English subtitles newly revised for this release, new audio commentary with Nia Edwards-Bey, co-director of Abattoir Horror Film Festival, revisiting the Belfort House, new interview with the lead actor, Beauty and Brutality, new interview with French extremity expert Alice Haylett-Bryan, Over Her Flayed Body, new video essay on martyrs and body horror by Xavier Aldana Reyes, author of Contemporary Body Horror, Organic Chronicles, archive feature-length documentary on the making of Martyrs, archival interview with the director, archival interview with the special effects designer, stills gallery, trailers, and all extras are subject to change. I'm surprised with the kind of fact that this is almost sold out barely a week after it's been announced, considering it was 4,000 copies, now up to 6,000. Some people have been upset that it's changed from 4,000 to 6,000. I couldn't care less. I want a copy, and I would like to be able to buy a copy. I don't care if it's 4,000, 6,000, 10,000, as long as the collectors can get a copy of it, I am happy. But it's a tough film. There's no other way about it. It really is a hard film. So there we have it. 4 announced titles, 2 in the Masters of Cinema series, 2 in the Eureka Classics, and I would say 4 different and interesting films, only one of which I have seen before. Like I said, I have reviewed Ambulance, and it is on the channel somewhere. In fact, I think I watched it on YouTube at one point. What jumps out at you there? Is there anything that you are picking up? Why are you picking up? Have you seen any of these films? Do you have a thought on any of them, or something you want to tell me about them, or other viewers? That would be fantastic. So drop a comment in the comment box below. As always, there is more content up here. You can see more of my stuff. In the description box below are links to Patreon, membership program, and ManVFilm.com. Always in which you can support me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.